Hey, welcome to Rapid Flow. My name is Eric. I'm the founder. I'm a trained sound engineer and I've been making music for over 25 years. And through that time, I've come up with systems and ways to be able to make music much faster using controllers, using workflows and templates that I'm going to show you today. On this video, I'm not going to do a lot of talking live. I'm actually going to make music and I'm going to show you my workflows and show you all the tools that I have here in the studio. I'll do a voiceover so I can better explain to you what's going on. For this session, we're going to be using Ableton 12. We're going to be using Zensphere, our VST instrument. We're also going to be using a couple of outboard synths and sequencers. We're going to be splitting this video into 3 parts. And the part you're watching today, the first part is going to be all about composition, how you can compose in a state of flow using controllers and the workflow you see on the screen, which is the Ableton Eric Heiremann template. The second part is going to be all about arranging and how to create a track that really feels nice and works, and adding the risers and the effects and the ear candy. And then the third part of this series is going to be all about the mixing and the mastering. Let's see where the music wants to take us today. I'm going to switch off my mic now and switch over to just capturing audio from the DAW. I hope you have a great journey with this. Check out the other installments of this once they're launched. And if you like what you see today, of course, we appreciate your subscribe and sharing this video with other music makers. All right, let's get going. What we're seeing now is me using the sequencer on the Waldorf Iridium keyboard in sequencer mode and also set to a scale. It's set to minor, and if I remember correctly, it's like B sharp. Because then you can tweak it up and down in real time and always be in key. And as you're seeing, it's looping in 5 notes. And yeah, this is one of the best sequencers and arpeggiators that I know, and I love using it for this. Let's have a listen. So at this moment, I'm digging the vibe of that ARP, and I'm just starting to check kind of what kind of a vibe this would feel like with a couple more of the basic elements of the track. As you can see on that little Akai MIDI mix, I have basic elements like an up hi-hat, percussions, toms, 16th hi-hat, always ready to go. They're always looping in the background. So you see I'm bringing in the 16th fader. I've just found over the years that making those from scratch is super tedious and a little bit pointless. Like sometimes I do go in and do more specific sequences, but in many cases I enjoy the simplicity of just kind of a straight up hi-hat, straight 16th. It's nice to have those. I do have some tricks to get those to be more varied per track. As you can see, I have a rotary controller also mapped to the cutoff frequency on this bass ARP sequence, which is kind of doing a double job of making a really cool funky bass line, but also high notes. So let's have a listen. Looks like I'm slowly getting into this. So as you can see, the Zensphere parameters are all available for automation and for quickly mapping controllers. And yeah, of course, kick drums, snares, hi-hats, all this stuff is always directly hard-coded to the controllers in front of me. So if I hear something in my head that I want to hear coming out of the speakers, for example, now bringing in the snare with a lot of reverb, everything's just one knob away, one fader away. I'm monitoring monitoring everything directly through Ableton. I'm not using my audio interface. That has the downside that it has slightly higher latency. And because I'm also using some speaker correction software, that introduces even more latency. So I'm not 100% tight sometimes on the kicks and stuff. I need to preemptively kind of bring faders in a bit faster. So here you can see my controller workflow quite well. And I have many videos on the channel explaining this. I'll link one here. Yeah, and this is the beauty of the rapid flow approach, is that it's just so easy to get into a vibe because, you know, the highs of the snare and the hi-hats and the rides and everything's right there for the grabbing. So if you hear it, just tweak it and then you have it. For a pad sound from a second instance of Zensphere. If you haven't seen it before, Zensphere is our in-house VST instrument. It's based on recordings from 18 hardware synths processed with all of that juicy gear you see in my studio. And most of the sounds you're going to hear today from Zensphere are completely unprocessed, coming that way straight out of Zensphere to the master, because I recorded them with the right vibe and sound coming from the hardware on the way into the sampling session. As you can see again, the pad cutoff filter is already mapped. This is all part of my template, my session. It's the Eric Harriman Ableton template. Yeah, not having to think about this stuff, always just having your cutoffs ready to go is a huge gift. It just makes life in the studio so much more fun. Yeah, I use this pad a lot, as the name suggests. So obviously I'm still looking for a vibe here, and rather than editing this down to like the bare minimum, we decided to keep a little bit more in, so you can see really the process of, you know, looking for vibes, hopefully finding, yeah, I've now found something. That's it. So yeah, from my experience in the studio, like when you find the bit the track is calling for, you feel it immediately. There's just very little space for doubt. As long as I don't get that feeling of like, ah yes, we've arrived, I'm still looking. But as soon as I hear something like that where everything just feels right, you'll see me switching on the metronome and going to record. And I have to try to remember which chords I was playing before. Actually doing YouTube is very useful because sometimes I go back to YouTube videos to see how I did something. So I just very briefly switched on my metronome to hear where the one is, so that when I start record, that loop's going to make sense. Yeah, you can see those chords are in now. You probably may have noticed all of my channel faders of the, let's say, elements are always all the way at the top. I mix it using a utility so that when my fader is all the way at the top, the levels are correct. Then I don't have to guess, because the faders are too small on these controllers to mix with really. They're more like a bringing in and out of the track tool.
So at this point, I'm just experimenting, like, will these two parts tweaked against each other give me enough to carry the vibe of the track? Which I think at this point didn't quite feel like it yet. It's cool and it's nice, but it's not enough yet to keep your attention, I think, for, I don't know, 4 to 7, 8 minutes. If you're wondering how and why this camera is panning around, it's on a slider. It's something that I got into maybe 2 years ago. It's just fun to have movement. It's one of these cheap sliders from some Chinese brand, but it works fantastic. Plus it gives you a bit of a view into the studio and you can see kind of what's going on around there. So I'm super happy with this pad. It's like a really nice vibe and really feels like it belongs in the track. The sound is, yeah, as you've probably noticed by now, I haven't had to do any sound design. Like everything just slots together because that's what I love to do, and that's how I work in these templates. Everything is set up. It's no longer about the mixing and the mastering, because there's a mastering chain. All the individual elements and the instruments are pre-mixed, so it just becomes about ideas, harmonies, chords, melodies, progressions. So what you're hearing now is the Prophet 6 from Sequential, which is being triggered by the Torso T1. I use it a lot to do these kind of like repetitive loop things with Euclidean sequences. Exposure a bit so you can actually see the buttons, because that's the brilliant thing about the Torso T1. It doesn't need a display because it somehow communicates with you through the buttons and the knobs. It's a very brilliant device. So in essence, I'm looking for chords now. So this is a few days later. That was the end of the first session where I kind of grabbed this idea, and listening back to it now, I realize I have enough there now to start sequencing, because often during the sequence, new ideas will come, and it's sometimes easier to just bring them in once you already have a foundation of a sequence. So I hope you enjoyed this first session where we were just capturing ideas. I got up really early on this day, and I'm going to continue with sequencing this track on this day, which is another video which we're going to link somewhere here and in the description. Thank you for your support, and for, of course, subscribing, liking if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you on the next installment of this, the next episode. All right, see you in a bit.